What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and I'm your host for another live episode of the Hangout Spot Live, this time the Thursday edition. And I just want to thank everybody for rocking out with us on Tuesday. But if you did not see the show live, make sure you check it out on YouTube. I have my boy Fight Night X with me from Four Corners Boxing. And we went over his Milk Carton Monday edition, which was absolutely hilarious. Every Monday, X puts out a post on IG story where he highlights a fighter or somebody from the boxing community that's basically missing in action. And he puts their face on a milk carton and he goes through the whole song and dance. And it was hilarious. So I had him on Monday. We did his top 5 that are missing in action lately. And we also had a treat. We also had a guy in the boxing community, Alex Ariza, who was a strength and conditioning coach for a lot of great fighters, including Manny Pacquiao. He's been missing in action as well. So I say that to say, if you have not seen the episode, make sure you check it out on my Hangout Spot YouTube channel. And last week, man, we had 2 banging episodes. We had former super featherweight champion Joseph Jojo Diaz. He was on with us last Tuesday. And then we had 154-pound prospect and Travius Yams Ingram. He was on with us on Thursday. So if you have not checked out those, they are on the channel. I don't know what you're waiting for. And I want to apologize to everybody ahead of time because today I was supposed to have the boxing legend, boxing royalty, Hall of Famer Christy Martin. She was supposed to be with me on the show today, but she was having some family issues today. So I thought it was a good idea for us to just kind of back out, reschedule. As of right now, we're going to have her on next Tuesday at 9 p.m. But you know the deal here at the Hangout Spot, man. The show goes on. So we got another one. We got another banger here in store for you because there's a lot of shit going on in the boxing world, a lot of rumors, a lot of stories, some fights that are currently in negotiation, some big fights. So I got a special guest today from the boxing podcast world, my boy Norbs from Norbs It All Network on YouTube. He's going to be joining me in just 1 second because we're going to go over all these rumors, man, because just like me on his channel, he's all over it. But at the end of the day, you know the deal at the Hangout Spot. There's ground rules, man. If you are watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button as it will help with the visibility of the channel. The goal is to get this channel out there in the algorithm, of other boxing fans all over YouTube so that they know that we're rocking out every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're watching this on recording, make sure you do the same. And if you have not subscribed to the Hangout Spot, make sure you do that and tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We're looking to take this channel to the next level in 2025. And last but not least, you know the deal. The live chat is open. I definitely want you to participate. But without further ado, like I said, lots going on in the boxing world. And my man Norbs, man, he be all over it as well. So I just want to bring him in, man. So without further ado, my man Norbs, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the Hangout Spot, man.
What's good? First of all, I got to address a couple things. I am insulted. I am insulted right now. Okay. I like Christy Martin, but I was her replacement. But just like when Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe, you know who became the GOAT, all right? So I'm going to give myself one of these. I don't appreciate that. What's up, Johnny? What's the word, my guy?
That's an excellent take. Listen, no, hey, you know the deal, man. We've been trying to get you on here for a little while now, right? But my schedule's been kind of tight. Mm-hmm. So I figured as soon as I had an opening, man, I had to get you up on here, man, because, you know, I rock with you. I rock with your live shows. And I appreciate what you're doing, brother. You know what I'm saying? We are all family in this community at the end of the day. We all share the same passion. We're content creators. We love boxing. But on your channel, you're doing it up, man. The other day, right, just to give my viewers a little bit of context of what Norbs is doing, man, he puts on a live. I go and I check him out, and he's talking about hip-hop today. I'm like, damn, yo, I said, I want to rock with Norb and I want to support him, but I don't really know a lot about today's hip-hop, man, because I'm old, man. I'm with the old school stuff, man. So all those rappers and battle rappers that you were talking about, man, I'm lost. I was lost in space, but I still stood on to support, brother.
I appreciate. No, I seen you, and you know it's crazy. Like I come from that world, right? And it's very similar to the boxing world, like especially the way a lot of these boxers interact with each other on Twitter. The difference is they really lace them up and go fight each other most of the time, right? But you know, it's a lot of fun. I've enjoying the challenge of transitioning into the boxing world. I've been following boxing since I was a kid. And I like it, man. And you know, the same way you're doing, I'm trying to grow. I'm watching you. You're at every show. I'm like, damn, I got to follow this guy. I'm trying to run into you. I'm trying to sneak in behind you, man. You know what I mean? But I've been making a lot of good progress and just trying to stay to it. You know what I mean? So, you know, listen, that intro you got is nice, man. I like that. I gotta get one of those. You look like you look like a real broadcaster, man. I like that.
I appreciate the compliment. And let me tell you something, man. I didn't know that that you just started the boxing on the come up, man, because like I said, man, it seems like you've been doing it for a long time. You're knowledgeable about the sport, you break it down, and that's why I wanted to get you on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're gonna do it up because I'm excited, man. I don't know about you, but there's a lot going on in the boxing world right now.
Yeah.
And it went through a little dead phase after the Tyson Fury and Usyk rematch, right? And that usually happens around Christmas time and New Year's, right? It kind of dies down a little bit. It usually gets going, at the end of January, early February. And but even though like the real big fights are still yet to come, we got one next week, Diego Pacheco, Steven Nelson, and then we got David Benavidez and Morrell. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. But the rumors are starting to heat up, man.
Yeah.
They're starting to heat up. And that's what I wanted to bring you on here for right now, man. We got Angel Carroll Reptiles. What's going on, man? Thank you for rocking out with us here live tonight. We got Wax. What a W intro. I think this is my man Yandu, who's a supporter, big boxing fan. I've actually had a chance to chop it up with him at the Caribbean Royale. Thanks for rocking out with us, brother. But let's get right into it. Because one of the things that I want to bring up are some recent rumors of some fights that are definitely on the horizon, some big fights. One of them being this one right here. We'll start with this one. And the reason why I want to start with this one, Norbs, is because if you would have asked me 2 years ago when Terence Crawford, or whatever it was, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, right? Terence Crawford, after he beat Errol Spence, he started chirping around like he wanted to move up and wait and fight Canelo, right?
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I'm thinking, I don't see that fight ever happening. I mean, Bud is at 147, Canelo's at 168. I don't think that that Canelo's going to want to fight a smaller guy because you know the deal in the boxing world, right?
Yeah.
If a bigger guy beats a smaller guy, he's not going to get any credit. You know the deal, right?
Yeah.
So then you fast forward, right? He moves up to 154. Again, a little bit heavier, still not 168. He wins a title. A lot of people say it was a close fight. Whatever it is, he won a title at 154. So now you fast forward to today, right? We've had Canelo in the past that has said on podcasts, I'm not interested in that fight because it's a no-win situation for me, right? He's a smaller guy. If I beat him, they're going to say I should have beat him. But then, like I said, you fast forward to today and you get Turkey Al-Sheikh involved and you get that bag involved.
Yeah.
And now, Norbs, I'm thinking it is going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to happen.
You think it's going to happen?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. I thought it was going to happen back then. And this is why. So, to me, I feel like there's been a void with a lot of the American fans, right? In regards to the 147-pound division. A lot of our fans are like international, Inoue, Bam Ortiz, Canelo. I mean, even Benavidez. I mean, Gervonta, they're hanging on, but Gervonta doesn't take any big fights. But I feel like with somebody like Bud, who has unified in multiple divisions and is doing this thing, once he dominated Errol Spence, I mean, it just made a lot of sense. And people got to understand too, Canelo fights in a bigger division, but in a heavier division. But I believe when they stand together, they're going to be, Bud might be bigger than him.
That's not a bad point. That's actually a good point.
And I think, Bud has went through his career, and he's a great fighter, right? I mean, a lot of people may not know his resume or whatnot. He didn't have the big fights like Canelo, but he's great, right? But he didn't get paid like he's great. And right. I felt like when I seen, and I didn't even know Bud was that old when he fought Spence. He was about 36 years old, right? And I felt like Bud going through everything he went through, Top Rank is what really led him to wanting to jump to this fight and just cashing out. You know what I mean? You got like 8 kids, you got a wife. I really believe this is his last fight. I don't think he fights again after this fight unless it's a rematch with Canelo. And I think this fight, and he said it many a times, you know, even when he said he wanted to fight him, he was saying, well, Canelo's a little too big. Canelo was like, no, I'm big. But he also said, like, yo, if the bag is right and he has the guy to pay him, he had to take this opportunity. Who else does he fight? Remember, he destroyed Errol Spence so bad that there was no reason for a rematch. That would have been him cashing out on a rematch. But it was so bad, nobody wants to see that. Errol Spence hasn't returned since. And I think when he saw that opportunity, then when people were saying, like, yo, we want to see him with Canelo, because at the end of the day, Canelo is kind of like I want to say like a lot of people hate on him. He's kind of like a heel to American fans. You know, a lot of people don't want to give him his credit and things of that nature. And once he opened his mouth, everybody who wants to see Canelo lose was like, yo, we got to see this happen. The number one hater, Timothy Bradley, doesn't give Canelo any type of props. Thinks it's going to be a slaughter. And I think that's going to continue to build up this fight. And you know, I'm glad it's happening for Bud, just because I think Bud's a great guy, and you know, he deserves a huge paycheck before he's gone. But you know, it's going to be good for boxing. It's definitely going to be good for boxing in regards to the hype. Once the hype train keeps going, there's going to be a lot of people that believe that he's going to do what Mayweather did to Canelo. And I think that's going to bring a lot of sales and a lot of eyes to this fight. And a lot of people do want to see Canelo lose. It just is what it is.
You bring up a lot of good points that I want to touch on, man. And again, shout out to the chat. They're cooking here.
Yep.
I agree with you. I think the fight always made more sense for Bud. But when I say that that I didn't think it would happen, I thought it would be more Canelo not wanting to make that fight happen, right? Mm-hmm. You're right. After he beat the hell out of Spence, who we haven't seen since, you know, what other big fight or what other big money legacy fight is out there for him? So I thought that made sense for him. And before that, you're right. I mean, as good as Bud is, he wasn't the biggest money draw. You know, I remember we had, you know, talks in Four Corners. Shout out to my brothers at Four Corners Boxing.
Shout out to
about a possible fight with Bud and Boots when Bud was at 47 and Boots wanted that fight. And our biggest thing was, well, is it gonna sell?
Yeah.
You know, because again, Bud isn't this big money pay-per-view guy.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I that it makes sense from a financial perspective, from a legacy perspective for him. But like I said, I didn't think that Bud, I didn't think Canelo would be interested in it. But you know, anything's possible in the world of boxing when there's money involved. And you know, when Turkey Al Sheikh gets involved in something, he wants to make something happen. He's going to throw the bag at these guys, and it's going to happen. So yeah, you mean I'm with you.
I also believe that Canelo's getting up there in age. He said he wants to fight a couple more years, right? And the biggest fight to this day he ever had was with Floyd Mayweather, an American fighter, right? And you know, people are viewing Bud as that guy. And again, like you said, he doesn't sell. And it was proven when he fought when they had him headline in LA. They were giving tickets away for that. So, you know, to add on to what you said about the Boots situation, Boots has been shooting himself in the foot in the last couple of years. He hasn't done anything to really make it a mega fight. Would it have been his biggest challenge at 147? Absolutely. But he didn't make it to where people had to see the fight. And I think Bud is in a situation where he's like, look, if I'm going to take this damage, if I'm going to do that, I need to go get the bag. And an example was Amir Khan. I was watching an interview with Amir Khan, and Amir Khan came out and said that when they offered him the Canelo fight, he was like, oh, he's too big for me. He's too strong. But it would take me 6 fights to get what I'm getting just for Canelo, right? So I'd rather just take that one fight. I lose, whatever. But there's no shame in losing it. And I think, you know, Bud, and it's the facts are the facts, right? Turkey Al Sheikh is behind Bud, but at the same time, he understands Bud doesn't sell like that. So if he wants to pay Bud and kind of bring some of that money and some of that attention to what Riyadh season is doing, he needs Canelo. And remember, he dissed Canelo. He said Canelo was scared. He did all this stuff. That didn't work. Canelo is a man of respect. He, and that's why one of the reasons I think him and Benavidez ain't happening, because of, I feel like, the lack of respect shown on that side. I mean, at least that's what he says.
Right.
But I feel like what intrigued Canelo about this fight was more, yes, this is a big money fight, but I think the opportunity to expand his businesses as well globally. And I think he's shown a lot of focus on that. And why not, get into a situation with I don't even know how much those guys are worth at this point. So I think it's a lot to do with setting himself up and his family in this fight. And again, hats off to Canelo for doing it. I don't think he's going to get credit for this fight. But at the end of the day, you can sleep on a bet of money.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think all the real fight fans will agree that the fight that we want to see is Canelo against Benavidez. But
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that ship is probably sailed. I don't believe Canelo wants any part of that fight, or it could have happened already.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think now this fight has marinated on me, and I think it's a good consolation prize. I don't know how good of a fight it's going to be until it's signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm not really going to think about it, or break it down. But at first glance, I mean, it'd be hard for me to pick Bud, even though skill-wise, he's probably more skilled. But again, the whole moving up kind of scares me. The fact that Canelo will walk him down. I don't think that Canelo's going to be really, really concerned with Bud's power. But Bud is also a good fighter off the back foot. So again, it would be interesting. Like I said, I haven't really kind of gotten into the whole breakdown of it yet. Yeah. But what do you see, right now on the surface?
I think a lot of elements outside of them in the fight is going to determine a lot. Canelo being the A side. The difference when he fought Floyd, he wasn't the A side. So Floyd would be able to get a bigger ring, a bigger gloves, and or whatever, right? In this situation, it's flip side. I mean, Canelo may want to get a smaller ring. He may want to get the gloves that he wants just because he wants to hurt the smaller guy, right? Or potentially. I feel like Bud has been getting hit a lot more in fights recently. He is a little older. I think Bud's greatness and Floyd's greatness is two different things. I think they both have great IQs, but I think Floyd is to me a better defensive fighter, a better offensive fighter off his defense than Bud is. That's what I believe. And I
agree with that.
And I think Canelo is not the same kid that he was back then. I think Canelo has seen that. I think Canelo has seen everything. He's seen guys like Lara. He's seen guys like Floyd. What people fail to realize is Bud has never seen anything like Canelo, ever. And I think that plays a big part in this fight. And listen, as great as Bud's been, Canelo isn't like Timothy Bradley says a cement-footed fighter. We've seen him duck, dodge, great off the D, great counterpuncher. He's become a completely different fighter than what we witnessed when he fought Floyd, and I think you have to take that into consideration. People are basing this off of when he fought Floyd. Oh, look, no, Canelo's IQ is legit. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a great chess match, but I think Canelo may force him to engage, or maybe his pride's going to force him to engage. I think he has a lot more heart than most fighters, by Crawford. But if that heart leads him into danger, I think it could be a fight could end early because Canelo is that strong. And people keep saying, "Oh, Canelo hasn't knocked anybody else since this long." He's fighting bigger fighters, guys. He's not a big guy, and we're gonna find out. But Canelo. But I mean, it's crazy because Canelo and Crawford are kind of both slow starters. Like they kind of feel you out, and you know what I mean? So Absolutely. It's going to be interesting. So, I think Canelo's going to be on him the whole fight. I don't think Bud can hurt Canelo. And I don't think anybody can really hurt Canelo. So.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think he's got the best chin in boxing by far. Yeah. I don't even think it's close. Yeah, I mean, you bring up some good points, man. The fight is interesting.
It is.
It's really, really intriguing, man. And honestly, like I said, a couple years ago, I would have told you, I'm not interested in seeing that fight.
Yeah.
today, you fast forward, and I'm all for it, man. Yeah, I think it'll be Wax. You're right. I think it'll be tough for Bud, but
You know,
it's not necessarily going to be a walk in the park for Canelo either.
No, it's not going to be a walk in the park. I mean, listen, Bud is great. But you know what's crazy? I think this fight generates more than a Benavidez fight. And I think people would think I'm crazy for saying that. It's because of the American aspect of Bud. There's a lot of people, bro, out there that I want to see Bud win this fight. People got to understand, too, when it comes to boxing, and boxing more so than any other sport, ethnicity, race, it plays a lot. It plays a lot. Where you're from, you know what I mean? And I think Turkey Al-Asik has definitely tried to capitalize off of that now, doing a 5-on-5 America versus Mexico card. You know what I mean? I think these are things that help sell fights. And the fact that Bud and Gervonta are probably looked at as the two biggest or most talented or most beloved American fighters, I think that plays a lot into this fight.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Mr. Ness 781. Good evening, homies. Still, thanks for rocking out with us, brother. We got the Maniac. The Maniac is in the building, brother.
Shout out to the Maniac, man. I don't know if you guys heard, but he is going to be the official ring card girl for the Pride fights in June. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Maniac.
Oh, he's gonna love that one.
That's my guy, Maniac.
The Maniac is my guy. He is a staple here at the Hangout Spot. I've had him here many a time. Not many exciting fans for Bud, so retirement wouldn't surprise me. Again, it's kind of weird. Like I said, as good as he is.
He's done.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he fights Canelo, win, lose, maybe, depending on how it goes, a rematch.
Yeah.
But I think that'll probably be the last time we see Bud.
I think that's what he's holding out times. He said it so many times. He's alluded to it. It's about the money. And I can't blame him. He's worked his whole life to get that type of a bag, and I think he's going to get the bag. And he's not a stupid guy. He invests. He does a lot of good things, and I think he's looking at this as an opportunity to become not only more financially stable, but when you fight Canelo, it's a lot of eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? And this is his biggest fight ever. It's not Canelo's biggest fight. It's his biggest fight ever.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Maniac said tell Tuneups to take off his Canelo chancletas.
There's a lot of Canelo haters out there, man. But
listen, man, you either love him or you hate him. I was always a big Canelo fan, but I got to be honest, I'm not a hater, but I'm a little annoyed with the way he's been moving the last couple of years, and I get why. A lot of most fans will say that he's earned his right to do that.
And you talk about avoid Benavidez.
Yes, that's probably the one that is sticking in my craw the most.
That's the only one I want to see. I mean, listen, I was not happy when he fought Berlanga. I'm just being honest. Huh? Yeah,
a lot of fans. Yeah, there were a lot of fans.
It wasn't whatever. Canelo is picking up a lot of checks. He has a lot of wear and tear in his body. He's been a pro since 15. He's fought Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Triple G 3 times. I get it. But at the same time, when you're in the game, you got to do what you got to do. But I just feel like people need to, if they're going to critique Canelo for doing that, at least he's unifying. At least he's cleaning out divisions. A lot of these guys that people worship are getting emailed their belt. They're getting emailed their belt, bro. They don't even want it. And we're talking about divisions that are stacked and they don't want to fight the fighters. So I get it. If we're going to kill Canelo for Benavidez, then let's kill all of these other fighters for not fighting a bunch of fighters that are in the division. And I think that's something, and I get it. Everybody wants to see Benavidez. I get it. For whatever reason, Canelo doesn't like the guy, doesn't want to fight him. And it's crazy because Benavidez can't hurt Canelo. He doesn't have the pop, in my opinion. I think it's more so of a fight of, is he going to be able to get off like he gets off? He's a volume fighter. But that puts you in danger too. Canelo has the best chin in boxing. So I still think Canelo wins that fight, but there's something about Benavidez that he does not like, to be honest with you. But, I say this, and I'm a huge Canelo fan. If he does not fight David Benavidez, the Mexican fans are going to hang that over his head.
Absolutely.
For his career. And I think that is what might play him. But what might save him is Benavidez, I'm hearing, they want the winner of the Bivol fight. And I don't think Benavidez can beat Bivol or Beterbiev. So if he loses to them, I think people will forget about it. But, as of now, we all want to see it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and it's not just that. Like I said, there's a lot of people, and fans are have the tendency to play the enabler as well. Like,
Yeah.
well, he's earned the right, to pick and choose his opponents. And I've never been a proponent of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my thing is, you a champion. You're a unified
Mhm.
champion. You were the undisputed champion. Your job as a champion is to defend your title against the top contenders. If you want to pick and choose,
Yeah.
then relinquish the belts. Don't hold them hostage. You know what I mean? So that's always been my biggest beef with him.
But you also have to blame the sanctioning bodies. I mean,
Well, I
if
mean, all they want to do is
Canelo's
collect sanctioning fees.
yeah,
That's all they
sanctioning
want
fees,
to
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If Canelo's sanctioning fees weren't worth more than everybody else's, do you think they'd even listen? But they're worth so much that he's like, no, I don't want to fight him. Do you want this 3%? Then sidestep him. That's just what it is. I mean, and it sucks. And that's why I like what Turkey Al-Sheikh, my uncle. You know he's my uncle, by the way. He's just upset at me. But Turkey, what he's proposing with having one belt per division and getting rid of all the sanctioning bodies because it's too corrupt.
That would be a godsend, bro.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, it's just way too many belts. Like my man, the Maniac, says, a bunch of alphabet belts. You got the Captain Crunch belt. You
I was talking to Iceman Scully. Shout out to Iceman Scully. That's my guy.
yeah.
And they're kind of like irritated that they're fighting, Benavidez and Morella fighting for the unified interim.
What does that even mean?
Huh?
Like, what does that even like? I've always had an issue with interim. Somebody asked me, I forgot who it was. Somebody asked me the other day that didn't know boxing. Like, what do they mean by interim? And I had to think about it. I'm like, well,
If you follow
it's
sports,
a belt, but it's not the world title belt. And I danced around it because I'm like, yo, like realistically, I don't even know what the hell an interim belt is.
the interim, you hear that a lot with coaches when a coach gets fired and he's the interim head coach till further notice. But he's the interim champion until I don't get it, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to what it really means in other sports. I get it, but
it's the dumbest thing, and I think that's what's hurting boxing. And I was talking to Iceman Scully about this. I was like, if you notice, a lot of boxers, right, aren't sponsored by like the Nikes and stuff like that, right? And what does Nike sell? They sell champions, whether it's Kobe, whether it's LeBron, whether it's Michael, whether it's Agassi, whoever, Adidas with Beckham and whatever. They sell champions. Boxing's forgot to sell champions. They stopped selling champions. They're selling nonsense at this point. They're allowing stupidity to go, and it's become a popularity contest. And it's really because of the sanctioning bodies. You're just handing belts to anybody because they might have some money or they might grease somebody's palms. It's just, and they've taken away the value of the champion. That's why I got to take my hat off to Turkey Al-Sheikh, because you got to celebrate champions in every sport except for boxing. Think about this for a second. It is huge when somebody wins a championship, the Super Bowl, the World Cup, the NHL hockey, NBA championship, NASCAR. I mean, everything is celebrated except for boxing. And that's what's wrong with it right now.
no, great point, man. Great point. Shout out to you, brother. Fight Night Mo is in the building. Support my brothers. What's going on, Mo?
Mo was good.
Thanks for rocking out with us, man. Thanks for rocking out. My man, Pristine Sports Network from the Boxing Boy is here. That's another Johnny. Yeah, man, that's my twin right here.
Yeah, we're actually twin brothers. We were separated at birth. And, we just reconnected recently.
Yes, sir. I am here with my brother Norbs from Norbs It All Network, man. We are chopping it up. A lot of big boxing news. We got my man Ryan Frazier for Boxing Talk Up North. Salute to you, my brother. We're going to chop it up next week. Don't forget, I'm going to hit you up, Ryan. Ryan's doing it up in Canada. So if you don't know what Ryan's doing, make sure you check out Boxing Talk Up North, man. He is absolutely doing it up, man. And again, the Maniac is here, man. The Maniac is in the building. Canelo is also looking at knocking off a two-time undisputed 4-belt era champ. Don't think he is not keeping that in mind too. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it is that too. I mean, listen, Bud's accolades cannot be denied.
Absolutely.
The Maniac actually put something in here that I wanted to bring up. He said Canelo versus Bud is a casual's dream fight.
I think Maniac's kind of downplaying. Listen, guys. I remember seeing a picture of Canelo and Gervonta together, right? And I seen the picture and I was like, damn, he's he's not that much bigger than Gervonta, dude. Gervonta's like 5'5", right?
Yeah.
And
I was next to Bud. I chopped it up with Bud, and by the way, shout out to Bud Crawford. He made it clear to me off the camera that he is very much interested in that Canelo fight.
Oh, absolutely.
This was before Canelo fought. This was actually a week before Canelo fought Benavidez. We chopped it up at Pro Box.
Not Benavidez.
He's not a big guy. I took a picture with him, and we're about the same. Obviously, he's much skinnier than I am, but no, he's not a big guy at all.
Another thing is too, people forget that he comes from a wrestling background. He's very strong, and a lot of your power comes from your legs. So people got to realize that too. I don't think Canelo's going to be able to bully him around. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just pushing him around. Listen, Bud is a strong man, bro. He's a very, very strong man. So
I think he used to wrestle, in high school or something.
He was a wrestler, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know how much, that will help him.
My boy, shout out to
Canelo, but I mean, the strength is there.
Shout out to Kyron Williams. Shout out to my guy Kyron Williams. He's from the Betting Yourself podcast with Jamal Herring, right? And he works out with Bud. And he said he's a 210-pound safety. He used to play NFL ball, college, whatever, right? He told me he was his leg press alone. He's like, yo, I'm leg pressing whatever it was of the weight. And he turns around and Bud's doing the same weight. And Bud's walking around at whatever, 160, whatever he's walking around. This is a 210-pound safety. So for those that think that Bud Crawford is not a strong man, he may be the strongest in terms of just like lower body or whatnot from in any boxer. And then nobody pushes Bud around. And you can see the strength when he fought Errol Spence. Errol Spence couldn't even make him budge. So people got to forget, people got to remember that. But I don't think it's a casual's dream fight. I don't want to say that because you're kind of downplaying how great Bud is. And there's been a lot of great champions. Roberto Duran went up and fought bigger guys. So listen, dare to be great and get paid for it. I got to take my hat off for Bud.
I hear that. That's right. Smash that like button. If you guys are watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, as it will help with the visibility of the channel. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's keep this chat going, man. We are cooking in here. Mo says, which one is the A side going into this fight? I think that Canelo is by far the A side. Thank you for answering that, Maniac. You're talking about a unified, should have been undisputed at 168. This guy's moving up. I don't think there's a question. He's the bigger money draw there as well.
There's nobody that would be the A side of a Canelo.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. This fight is definitely a chess match. I think, it can be. Canelo can, Benavidez can hurt Canelo. That's why he didn't want no part to him.
No.
Accordingly to Norbs, no. I don't know, man. I might have to side with the Maniac, but,
sometimes you got to be wrong. It's okay. I don't think he has the power. I think it's an accumulation of punches. Is how Benavidez is
actually bigger guy, bro.
He is.
He will come into that fight at 200 pounds.
100%.
The hand speed, speed generates power. I mean, you got to take all of that into consideration. But again, I don't know. I wouldn't know, obviously, exactly until we see it.
Let's take the flip side of that. Who has Benavidez fought that can actually hurt him?
Well, he's always been
doing a lot. Boo Boo came up from 160 or whatever it was, right? He's not a big puncher. I think his knockouts come from a lot of volume. You know what I mean? Canelo, listen, if you're gonna press Canelo, you're gonna get caught. And I want to see how he responds to a puncher like Canelo. Canelo's smart, very smart. He didn't look good at 175 either. Benavidez' last fight. We're gonna find out a lot about Benavidez come February 1st.
Good point, man. We got February 1st, David Benavidez against David Morrell. I can't wait for that. Ryan Frazier, Canelo hates movers. That's right. He struggled with those his entire career. That's an excellent. That's a good point, man. I mean, let's not forget Lara. Canelo likes guys that are going to be stationary. Yeah. Guys he doesn't have to chase. Guys that are going to be there for him.
Yeah, I don't think Bud is a guy that's a mover like that. I think he's
gonna. Yeah, but Norbs, I think he's gonna have to in this fight.
But that's the thing. Listen, guys. When you're forced to do something you're not used to doing, you're not fighting your fight. That can put you in a bad predicament. That's not who Bud is. Floyd can do that. He was always Lara. That's his style. You're asking somebody to completely throw out his game plan to fight him and fight something different. Listen, and he's also going to be 38. I think he's going to be in great shape, but I don't think Bud wins that fight running like that. I don't. I just don't. Is Bud as good as Floyd within close quarters? I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Yeah, well, that's why I said, man, it's interesting. We're gonna move on to the next fight, but we got if Canelo was not paid to carry Buddy, we'll stop him brutally. We got some opinions here. I want to bring the chat out. I believe this is all for the bag. Well,
it is for the bag. Who wants to do things for
every
free?
fight now? This is prize fighting, Mr. Ness. You know how it is, man. What's good, brother? What's good? Thank you for rocking out, man, and thank you for being involved in the chat, man. Thank you for being involved in the chat.
Hit my guy Johnny with some super chats, man. Hit him with some super chats, please.
Super chats are open, super thanks, super stickers. We do it all up in here. But at the end of the day, I just like I'm just feeling it that you guys are here rocking out with us, man. Shout out to my live viewers and shout out to the chat. But let's move on, man, because we got another big fight that has been talked about, a very much anticipated rematch between Devin the Dream Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
So word is, again, the man, Turkey a la Sheik, shout out
Uncle Sheik.
Turkey, Norbs' uncle. You know, he once again has waved the magic wand and he threw a little bit of dough out there as well, dangled the carrot. And he got Ryan basically, I guess, agreeing to this whole VADA deal when before that Ryan was against, using VADA or whatever it was, right? But word around town is that this fight is going to happen in October. But supposedly before that, they're supposed to both have what they would call a tune-up in May. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of rumors on who each of them is going to fight. They're saying right now the rumors on social media is that Ryan may fight Tio, which is far from a tune-up. That fight may spoil that rematch if you're going winner. They both have to win, and then obviously Haney. There's a bunch of different names that are being, thrown out. Ramirez, Broner, Pitbull. I mean, there's a bunch of different names there. Yeah. But two questions, right?
Yep.
What do you feel about this rematch? Because personally, I don't know, man. I wanted to see it after the first one. Let me make it clear to the viewers out there. I got that one totally wrong. I fumbled the bag there. I had Haney winning this fight, and it wasn't because I didn't think Ryan was capable. But again, Haney was coming in with a lot of momentum, and Ryan looked like he was crashing out.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm thinking this probably wouldn't even been a competitive fight. I thought Haney would box Ryan's ears off, and then after the first round, when my jaw dropped, we all saw what happened after that. But things changed after that, right? The Ostarine, the loss got taken off Haney's record. Ryan is going through a suspension that's going to end at the end of April. So here we are back at it, man. How do you feel about this rematch? And that's the first question. And then the second question is, how do you feel about them doing this tune-up deal in May before that rematch in October?
I think that the rematch was definitely necessary. There was too many things happened after that fight, too many questions. But I will say this in regards to the rematch, it scares me for Devin. Because I feel like mentally, I don't know where he's at. They made a big thing about the loss and all that and getting a no contest, but regardless, the beating he took afterwards and then the beating he took from social media might have been worse. And I don't know how well he's actually handled it. So to me, I don't like Kennedy Fried Chicken, by the way. But I mean, it was definitely necessary. But I will say this, a lot is going to be answered with his opponent for the tune-up fight. I do believe he needs a tune-up fight. Now, Teofimo Lopez, I'm sorry. Let me get back to that. I would like to see him fight Rolly or somebody like that. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I want to see how he responds to some pressure. Like, again, I don't know how broken he is. And I think a lot of times when fighters take a loss like he took, a devastating loss, they never return the same way. So I would like to see what they do with that. And I think they've been very cautious with him, right? I even think that they've been very strategic with the lawsuit and cornering Ryan Garcia into that. That was what the lawsuit was about from the get-go, was cornering Ryan Garcia into it, right? On the flip side of that, on Ryan's part, I love the fact that he wants to fight the biggest fights. But Teofimo Lopez is not a warm-up. I don't even think he beats Teofimo Lopez, to be honest with you. But is that going to damper? Is that going to put a black cloud over the rematch with Devin Haney? I don't know, but I don't think Ryan should fight Teofimo in May. I think that on its own should be something of its own, legacy of something big, right? October. What was the second part of the question? What was the second? I'm sorry.
How do you feel about them taking which you've been answering, right? With the whole tune-up stuff in May.
Yeah.
If I could jump in there real quick, because I agree with you with the whole Ryan Teo. With Devin, yes, I would have wanted, and I've been saying this for the longest.
Yeah.
We all the last impression, right? Let me just pull something up here. This is the last impression in all of our minds when it comes to that Ryan Devin first fight. Yeah. This is it. It's all over social media. I think if you ask a true boxing fan about this fight, they're gonna think about this picture, right?
Yeah.
So in order to erase this, I need to see Devin back in a fight. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you with that. Me personally, I would have thought that maybe his team would have wanted more of a layup type of fight, maybe a guy who wasn't a puncher, a guy that he can go in there, look good against, get his confidence back, because we all know physically he got beat, but mentally, you know the deal.
Yeah.
So I would have expected that. The fact that he's willing to get in there, because there were rumors that there was going to be his next fight regardless. He's willing to get back in there with Ryan next year. I give him props for that.
But he couldn't avoid that. They were going to kill him. I mean, you understand too, his dad has been one of his greatest assets, but also one of his greatest downfalls. Okay. I love Bill Haney. This is not a slight at Bill Haney. I love
absolutely. So do I.
I love how he represents his son, how he does it.
Same.
But at the same time, on the flip side, you put a lot of pressure on that young man. And everything that he does is under the microscope. He got some stripper girl pregnant. That's all over media. Everything he does is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just everywhere right now.
Absolutely.
And I think, and again, no slight to Devin. I like Devin. That wasn't a shot. I'm sorry for that. But, everything that he does is under the microscope. So to me, you're right. Mentally, we got to see what's going on with him. And another thing I found weird was when he tweeted bye-bye 140 pounds. He's going to 147. And to me, his punch resistance, and he's not a big puncher, is very, it's a question mark, right? So now you fight Ryan at 147. Is that going to help you? Ryan's going to show up around 165.
Yeah, Ryan's a big kid, and he can carry his power like Ryan, like Ryan Frazier. Ryan versus Devin 147. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where it's going to happen. That's a shocker to me, though.
Yeah, 147. I was like, wow, 147. You're allowing a lot of space, but there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, especially the Ryan situation. He didn't want VADA, the conspiracy stuff. I'm glad that he signed it, and now he's going to be tested. We're going to see the question marks answered. And again, he did pop dirty, right? People don't understand. Osterin is it helps you heal. Remember, he had a rib injury. That's what Osterin does, and it sticks in your fatty cells when you're trying to drain weight. But he also popped dirty for something else, but it wasn't enough of the substance. And when he was talking, Ryan and Devin, and he said he didn't want to get tested immediately, I know a lot of athletes, and I did a study on this in college, they run cycles. And when you run a cycle the right way, it won't detect, but you need a certain amount of time in order to do it and take it certain ways. So a lot of people are now going to speculate that's why Ryan didn't want to do it. So if this fight, Ryan doesn't look that good, it's really going to put a black cloud over him. So, there's a lot of question marks in this fight. You know what I mean? So we're going to find out. I still think Ryan beats him. I think Ryan's the better fighter. Let me not say he's the better fighter. Stylistically, Devin technically might be the better fighter, but I feel like Ryan is a more gifted fighter. And that left hook changes everything.
What Ryan, a lot of people will say Ryan is a one-trick pony because of the left hook. But if you're going to be a one-trick pony, that he is that is a huge trick in your tool belt. Because the speed and the power that is generated behind that left hook, it kind of reminds me of Roy Jones in his prime, man.
Mm-hmm.
Where he can throw that left hook from anywhere, man, and it was so fast that it was almost impossible for anybody to block.
But the difference is Roy was more disciplined and he had more arsenal. I think Ryan.
It's not a comparison to them. Yeah,
no, I know what you mean though. But I'm saying, like, I think Ryan's biggest downfall is his discipline. I don't think he's a disciplined kid. And I think that's why him and Canelo butted heads at one point, because he wasn't working as hard. I mean, Ryan Garcia is a talented kid, man.
Yeah,
very talented.
Absolutely, super talent. But yeah, is he here? Is he going to have that work ethic? And like I said, man, with that whole build up before, I've never seen anything in my life going into that freaking build up, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was crashing out. Like, I'm like, yo, I was telling everybody this fight's not going to happen. He will pull out 3, 4, 5 days before the fight. I'm telling you, like, get Arnold Barboza ready, bro, because this dude's going to crash out. He's going to end up in a hospital, in a rehab facility somewhere. And he made it to the fight and did what he did, bro. That's why I was like, wow. That's why I called it my fight of the year.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a spectacle. The one thing I don't like about the fight that I'm hearing in October, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, which I don't like. I think this is a fight that has to be in Vegas or LA or West Coast. I don't like the fact that it's in Saudi Arabia.
I don't either, man. And not just that, but I hate the time. Like, bro, I'm a boxing guy that likes to watch boxing in the nighttime, bro. Like, to me, a main event on a Saturday night should be at 11, 12 o'clock at night, not at 6 o'clock, man. That's just me.
No, absolutely. And I feel like, and not to play Saudi Arabia or whatnot, but I feel like the spectacle of just having fans and the ambiance, and these kids are from America. You know what I mean? I don't like that it's out there. I think it should take place over here. I think that's the one downside of this situation, is that it's not going to be in the States where we can all really appreciate what it is.
I agree. Shout out to MB Productions. My man, Mr. B, is in the building. What's going on, champ? Same fight, same result. Garcia wins it again. I mean, yeah, that's what Norb said. Right now, it's hard to argue that. I think a lot of people are going to make more of a better assessment once these dudes fight in May. And it all depends on who Haney fights in his supposed tune-up. I give Ryan a lot of props if he takes that Teo fight, man. That is not a tune-up, and I agree with you, Norbs. I do not see him winning that fight. But
listen, and people got to stop playing Teofimo Lopez. We understand he's a jackass when it comes to the media and all that. I love Teo. I think he's a great fighter.
I do too. I'm a Teo fan, man. Yeah. I always rock with Teo. I cringe though every time he kind of opens his mouth because
he's his daddy's son. That's all we know.
Sometimes Teo got to know when to not talk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because there's things that he says, like I said, I don't think he's a racist at all. There are people that think he is, but I just think that he has a poor way of expressing himself. He's not the most gifted person when it comes to expressing himself verbally.
It's worse when he tries to clean it up.
I'm not making excuses for him. This is just my assumption of it. Yeah. Listen, I'm a fan of the boxer. Like, I don't know these guys personally. Yeah, I have certain relationships with certain fighters. I talk to them or whatnot. I respect them all. But at the end of the day, they're fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not coming home to hang out with me.
Yeah. I will say this, though. You got to give a lot of credit to Ryan Garcia. Like, Ryan has to know how dangerous Teofimo is. Teofimo is not – I got Teofimo as one of my top 10 fighters.
Me too. A lot of people are probably going to criticize both of us for that, but I do too. I think that Teo, when he's locked in, the thing that scars Teo is the fact that he will fight down to the competition. But think about it this way. When the competition is at his highest and he feels the most challenged and people don't think that he has a shot, this is when he shows up. To me, that is the trait to me that carries more than fighting down the competition. That's just me.
He's like, I don't know if you follow basketball like that, but he reminds me of Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller would average like 17 points, right?
And he played the Knicks.
He's averaging 45, 50. He's playing Jordan. He's going crazy. It's just when it comes to those big fights, he's just phenomenal. It's just, again, I'm glad that he's now has somebody else in his corner like Reynoso and Canelo to maybe help him out. But he's talented, bro. Like, I think he can beat anybody. I think athletically wise, he's the only person I believe that's as athletic as Tank. That can beat Tank at 135, let's say 140.
Yeah, that's the fight that I want to see. I want to see Teo with Tank.
I would love to see it. And athletically, they're very similar. The backflips off the rope, they can do a lot of things in and out. I think Tank is more disciplined than him in certain regard.
Yes.
But I mean, Tio has it all. So shout out to Ryan for taking that fight. And he said he only wants big fights. So sheesh.
You gotta give Ryan credit, man. Julian Rosa, thank you for rocking out with us, brother. He couldn't make 140. Yeah, Devin, obviously, yeah, that's got to be what it is. But that is a that's a slippery slope, because as you move up in weight, like I said, you're talking about Ryan, who I believe is going to carry his power to 147, and Devin obviously is a power puncher. Devin will have to box from the outside and do the things that he should have done the first time. That's what makes this fight more intriguing. But like I said, I'm not going to get into it until I see them both fight in May. We will get back into that as the months progress, but I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. Let's keep it moving, though.
Sure.
There's another thank you for rocking out with us. Mami Mantega, let's go. That's how we doing it up, baby. And if you have not hit that like button, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the Hangout Spot, and let's keep this chat going. But you got another fight that was just announced. I don't know if they've decided on a date. I don't know if it's official. Everybody's saying that it should be made official. Chris Eubank against Conor Benn.
That's a UK fight for me, man.
That's a UK fight, but it's a fight that is been looming for quite some time because of the rivalry between both of them. And for my viewers that don't know, both of their fathers were professional fighters at a championship level, and they both fought each other in the past. So this is their sons, that are looking to fight each other. And this has been a fight that obviously has been talked about for quite some time. Conor Benn. I don't know what's up with Conor Benn. I would more want Conor Benn in the 147-pound mix with some of these champions, but for some reason he continues to go after this Chris Eubank fight, who's a bigger fight, or who's a bigger name. I guess it's a bigger money fight in the UK. But I know that you had put out a comment or a tweet the other day on IG, or a message on IG that with Conor Benn was complaining about the weight rehydration or something like that, and he wanted to put a cap out. And we were at it like, what's going on here? Like, you wanted to fight this guy, and all of a sudden you want to put a cap on his weight. Like, which one is it? Are you getting cold feet? What do you think about this fight, man?
I mean, I like Conor Benn's attitude, right? I like what he did with Ryan Garcia. He doesn't back down from anybody. And when I went to London a few years ago, right, what I learned was a lot of people in London carry a chip on their shoulder towards the Americans. They feel like Americans are snobs, which is weird because that's what we think about them,
right?
And he walks around with that, and and it's dope to see that.
Norbs, ain't it both of them?
No, I know they both from over there, but what I'm saying is,
like both of them are kind of arrogant.
Yeah.
Which is why I think this is going to be an interesting fight. But go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
I like that. So I like that fire, and what I was trying to get to was a lot of these UK fighters, especially in them lighter divisions, they feel overlooked by the Americans. So they want to make this a big spectacle. They want to make it a rugged fight. So I look forward to this fight. I think they're going to go at it, man. They're trying to make a point. They also want to get bigger fights. They want to get bigger paychecks. So I think this is more of a showcase, and especially for London. It's one of those fights where they're both from the same, the same area or whatnot. Their fathers fought. It's for bragging rights, and it means a lot for them. And I expect the press conference when it's officially announced. I'm expecting a couple punches thrown before they even face off. So it's gonna be interesting. Conor Benn is I ain't gonna lie, bro. He's a fiery guy, but so is Eubank. So
he's a little bit of a hothead, which is good for boxing.
Yeah, I was told in boxing, you have to have a killer mentality. You have to really want to hurt your opponent, or you shouldn't be in this. So I feel like they're both going to bring their A game. It's a big fight for the UK. And again, it's kind of crazy, but, a lot of the stuff is happening overseas now as opposed to America. So, they're building, man. I'm excited. 2025 in general is crazy right now.
Yeah, man. Shout out to and that's all we want, man. We want, I think boxing can be the best sport in the world. The thing that kills boxing is his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because the guys that we want to see fight are holding out, right? We want to see these guys fight. They don't want to fight each other, or they don't want to fight each other this year, or they want to wait till next year, or we need the best to fight the best. And my biggest thing with 2024, when I had the Maniac on and we recapped the year, was I thought it was a good year. I didn't think it was a great year. But I think but I also said that I think 2025, has the potential to be better. And that's what we want. We want every year to be better. So far, the first quarter, is proposed fights on paper looking good. I like this fight. A lot of people, true boxing fans are kind of crapping on this Eubank Benn.
Why though? It's a good fight.
Well, because it might be because of the factor that you said, right? It's more of a popular fight in the UK.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of boxing fans realize that although it's not a legacy fight because the fathers are the ones that had the legacy, but we all know that, at the end of the day, great things in family tradition are always passed down from generation to generation. Hopefully they can pass that down. The thing I like about this fight is you're looking at two dudes that genuinely hate each other. I like that. I'm an old school fan. Like Norms, I fucking hate when guys hug it out in the press conference and they're all cordial and shit. Like, bro, I get respect. It's okay to respect. But at the end of the day, you hugging somebody that realistically you want to knock their head off, bro.
Yeah, that's why I like Caleb Plant so much too. That's why I like Benn.
I like guys to keep it real. I like press conference, keep it spicy. Like, yo, I don't have to like you. I don't want to like you before the fight. Now, after the fight, that's different. You could show each other respect. You could hug, whatever. But before that, you're enemies, bro. You're trying to go in there and knock each other's head off. And I think this is what's going to happen. This is a true rivalry fight. So I think that we all want to be entertained. I think it's going to be entertaining because of that. These dudes are going to come out and they're going to fight. They're going to try to beat the shit out of each other.
It's funny because I think it's also because they're from the UK. I think that's why it's being downplayed. It's even similar to like the Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. Dude, we're a month away from that fight. And it's not a lot of people talking about it. And that was a great first fight.
Great first fight. And I was looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah. And
after it was done, Norbs, 5 minutes after it's done, I'm like, yo, when are these dudes gonna announce the rematch?
No, facts. And it's crazy to me because they're not American. It's similar to people downplaying Usyk and saying, well, Usyk's not one of the great heavyweights of all time. It's because the heavyweight division has been dominated by the Europeans since Lennox Lewis and on. We had the Klitschko's after that. Deontay Wilder was our best shot. We've seen what Fury did to him. And I think people, especially Americans, and that's why I bring up the whole American thing with Conor Benn, we don't respect them as much as we should. And these are great fighters. Usyk is my number one pound for pound fighter in the world. What I mean? He's not American, guys like Lomachenko or people, we tend as Americans to downplay everything. And that's why, when I seen Conor Benn press Ryan Garcia, I knew exactly where it was coming from. I remember being in UK, right? I'm hanging out with I don't want to say this guy's name, but he's a gangster out there, right? And he was telling me a story about this is kind of crazy, about a famous American artist stole $200,000 from him, right? Okay. They booked him to go to the UK. They sent him over $150,000, $200,000, right? He decided not to show up to the show, right? And the guy tells me, he's like, yo, like, Americans think we're pussy. That's exactly what he said. So he goes, the guy actually came and did a show, and they chased him out of the country. They caught one of his mans, another one that was an artist, and he actually wired back some of the money or whatever, but they feel like we don't respect them, and we don't. Like, Americans do not respect, and it's crazy because they're very similar, like, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's boxing, we do not give the UK or anybody outside of America respect, and that's why when I seen Conor Benn do that to Ryan Garcia, you heard what he said, you don't talk shit in my city. That's what he opened up with.
Right. Right.
And that was a message for all of the Americans. He did. Bro, I'm telling you, when I was out there with him, and I'm like, I like when he's telling me this story, I'm like, oh shit, like that's crazy, like for real. And this is one of the biggest. He's now a podcaster ever in the United States right now. So, they walk around with that edge, man, and they're out there to prove themselves. And listen, they've been doing well, man. But that, I mean, I would like to see a UK versus America card too, like with the Conor. You know what I mean? Like,
if we speak it up, man, we keep talking about it. We may be able to speak it to existence, man. I mean, Turkey's hearing.
That's my uncle. I don't know why he doesn't answer my calls. You know what I mean? But
listen, he's your uncle, man. What's going on? You don't got him on speed dial?
He broke up with my aunt years back, and ever since then, he doesn't want to answer my calls or text messages. So
Shout out to my brother Norris, man. Yeah, I think people again, I think it's gonna be a good fight. Eubank takes it. He's the bigger guy.
Respect to the UK, man. Respect to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fight too, man.
Yeah, and absolutely. Lots of potential big fights this year. Just depends on if they happen or not. Wax, that's every year. You're right. There's fights that could happen. There's fights that should happen. And then there's fights that never happen. Like I said, boxing is its own worst enemy.
You know what fight needs to happen? And this is just for comedic purposes, is a combination between Blair to Flair versus Rolly Romero or Adrian Broner versus anybody versus Rolly. I am tuned into.
And what belt is that for? The WBC Ringling Brothers belt?
No, the WBO comedy belt. I don't care. I just want to see. I want to see these guys, man. I love these guys.
Man. These guys are entertaining. Eddie Alvarez, my brother. Salute to Johnny in the chat, man. Thanks for rocking out with us, man. Thanks for rocking out, man. But man, there's just so many things going on, man. I want to do a quick, rapid reaction before we wrap it up. Just a quick, your take. Like, who do you like it against David Benavidez and David Morrell?
Shit, man. I got Benavidez. I'm a fan of Benavidez, man. I like Benavidez. I think he has a lot to prove. I like his attitude. I think it's gonna be a big output. He's gonna be on him. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. But I got Benavidez possibly stopping him in the 10th round. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, all right. I got Benavidez as well. Who do you think that Keyshawn Davis wins his first world title? February 14th, New York City against Dennis Baranchek.
I hope it's an emphatic fashion. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a really good fight. And then after that, we're going to get him versus Gervonta Davis. So I definitely would like him to win that fight in emphatic fashion. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a good fight, though. And I think he wins, though.
Does Lamont Roach beat Tank Davis March 1st at the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York? I will probably be on hand for that.
I hate the fight. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it. Shout out to Lamont Roach. I think Tank beats him. Listen, man. Say what you want about Tank Davis, right? Even though he's not fighting the best of the best, he's in the best shape of his life, and he's prepared. And he's already walking around at the way he's supposed to be. He looks good. The perm looks excellent. He looks like my dope head uncle or my dope dealing uncle, not my dope head uncle. Those are two different people. I think Gervonta's going to beat him. I think he's going to beat him in the knockout. I don't think Gervonta's taking fights that are going to really be the biggest challenge for him right now. And again, it's not a slight at Roach, but I think he knocks him out. I think I'm going to say 7.
So I try to ask that question in a little bit of a different fashion, right? Does Tank Davis beat him? Do you think Lamont Roach beats him? Because I agree with you. Like I said, this has nothing. No knock on Lamont Roach. I like Lamont Roach. I think he's a good fighter. He's a WBA champion at 130.
At 130, that's the key.
Exactly. And he's moving up in weight to fight arguably the hardest, well, definitely the hardest hit at 135. This guy hits like a welterweight.
Yeah.
And probably the best fight at 135. I've seen this movie before, Norbs.
Yeah. You know what's about that though, too?
I don't want to see it again.
No, he's really good.
He's good.
He's very good. He's very smart. He has an IQ. I feel like his O means more to him than his legacy. And I think that's what we get with Gervonta Davis. And it sucks. I can't knock him. You know what I mean? But if people keep paying for the BS, that's what we're going to keep getting.
I get it. I like Tank too, but I'm hard on him, bro. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to be to hold your the fighters that you like accountable. Like there can't be as good as Tank Davis is. There can be a question when he retires, like, oh, he was good, but he didn't fight.
Yeah.
The Shakurs. He didn't fight the TOs. He didn't unify a division. I don't want that.
Yeah. No, listen.
You know,
he's a different era of fighter. Listen, man, I can't. I like him. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a talented dude. He doesn't like me very much. You know what I mean? He cussed me out. He said I look like a big McChicken.
Which is good because, like I said, that means you getting around. You getting the street cred, bro.
Yeah, I like Tank though. I want to when I do show up to one of those fights, I'm gonna ask him that question. But, shout out to Tank though, man. I like.
He may not want to listen to you.
Oh no, he's gonna listen to me.
He's an emotional guy, but no, I agree. I agree with you. Again, I seen this movie before, and I'm not interested in seeing it again. But again, Tank is Tank fights are an event. So I think I'm going to make my return to Brooklyn.
And
let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? But last one I got.
Go to Leone's in Brooklyn.
I used to live 15, 20 minutes from Brooklyn. I'm from Bushwick.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm originally from Bushwick, so I'm going back to the hood, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm not so you thought I was a Floridian, like born and raised, bro?
No. I can tell you.
Implant, bro.
I can tell you from New York. I was thinking the Bronx is that I had, but.
I lived in the Bronx for probably over 12 years, bro. My wife is from the Bronx, so.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
My wife's from Brooklyn, so. Jesus.
Johnny is right about Tank talented, but could have done more. Yeah, like I said, I just don't want any question marks when it's all.
There's gonna be, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. This is welcome to 2025, the new generation of boxing. We're not in the golden ages. One last one before I let you go.
All right, let's do it.
Tyson Fury just announced his retirement.
15th time?
Yeah. Do you believe him this time? Does he stay retired or do we see him again?
He's retired off of wins. This is a loss back to back. He's retiring off of.
That's a great point.
It's a difference, right? What does he have to gain anymore? Outside of money, does he really want to fight Joshua in him not being like, when he's fighting, is usually fighting who's the best. When he fight Anthony Joshua, that question's already been answered as Usyk. I don't think he's motivated to fight anymore. I actually believe that he's done. I don't care what amount of money they offer him. I think he just got paid just for that fight $70 million. He's a big man. He's an older man. I think he's like 39 or something like that. So I think the fact that it's coming off of back-to-back losses that left bad taste in his mouth because of the judges, I don't think he wants to do it again. And I think he stays retired because of that.
Okay. All right, Tyson's ego we'll see him want to go out on a high note. Quite possible. Or it's going to be a lot of boxing fans that are going to say that the only reason why he's saying that is because he wants to try to generate Turkey to bring up more money for him to fight Joshua the next time. I don't know. Like I said, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. The Joshua fight is a huge UK fight. I mean, we're probably talking about Wembley Stadium.
A long time coming too. So
yeah.
It's the only reason why I think that he comes back for that.
That might be. I agree. That might be the only reason. But I think coming off of those back-to-back losses, I can't see him just forgetting about those losses, man. Like coming off from losses is a lot different than coming back from a win. So,
no, absolutely, brother.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. The future's a lot of intriguing stuff, a lot of question marks. But my brother, man, this was absolutely dope, man.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely dope. Why don't you let my viewers know where they can find you, bro?
I was gonna say something stupid, but you can find me at
boxing's Howard Stern. So
I am a little off. On my social media, Twitter, and what's the other one I got? Instagram is at StreetStar NORBE. Starting next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be live in the morning at about 10 a.m. for about an hour and a half. I'm just gonna be going through a bunch of different things in boxing. But catch my Instagram updates, Twitter, YouTube is Northwood Network. And I'm just gonna keep going, man. Keep working, and hopefully, me and Tank have a conversation. I want to sit down with him, and I might get a lace front just to match his hair, and stuff like that. But we're gonna see what's up.
My man. Listen, man. You know the deal, man. You come to the hangout spot, you family, bro. You're welcome back anytime. We definitely got to get you back.
I'm with it.
We can chop it up in the future, and I definitely got to hit you up and jump on your podcast because you're doing big things, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep your head down, brother.
I'm down, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to make it happen, man. Let's do it.
and we're gonna see each other at the fights, man.
I need that connect, man, over that what is it, Caribbean Royale.
Caribbean Royale. Shout out to the Caribbean. Those are my peoples. That's my family. Shout out to Box, Pro Box as well. Matter of fact, next Friday, Pro Box makes his 2025 debut. Next Friday, my man, light heavyweight prospect Najee Lopez, undefeated, is going to be in the main event. Darrell Blast Valsaint, another undefeated middleweight prospect. Both of them are trained by Mark Ferre, who's Edgar Belanga's trainer. They will be fighting on that card. I will be obviously there. I work the Pro Box cards. Then next Saturday, we got Diego Pacheco.
I like that fight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one against Steven Nelson. That's a big step up for Diego. If he looks good there, who knows? You know, he can start lobbying for a big fight, maybe against Billy. I would love to see him fight Belanga down the road. I don't know if Canelo would be interested in that, but again, that's in the same division.
I want to see Berlanga and McCumbee is what I want to see.
Well, supposedly Belanga will be fighting in March. That I know. I know that. Don't have a date yet. It will be in Puerto Rico. I know that. But I don't have a date yet, and I don't have an opponent yet. But when I do, we will be all over here at the Hangout spot because more than likely I will be working that Belanga card as well in Puerto Rico. But
I want to go. I want to see him versus McCumbee, man.
So. I think that would be an excellent fight. And down the road, I want to see him against Caleb Plant because there's a lot of bad blood there. But like I said, my brother, it was great having you on, man.
All right, bro. We out of here. Right, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
All
right. I'll catch up with you.
All right, brother.
There you have it, man. That's my guy, Norbs, man, from Norbs It All Network. He's doing it up, man. You know, he's talking boxing. He does a little bit of hip hop. If you haven't checked him out, check him out, man. He's been entertaining, as you can see. You know, he knows his boxing, and I love the way he breaks it down. So, you know, I've been dying to get him on here for quite some time. It's a shame that he had to play substitute today. I was supposed to have boxing legend and Hall of Famer Christy Martin on today, but you know she's going through some personal issues. Mom is a little sick. You know we were chatting it up today. So shout out to Christy Martin and prayers up for Mom. You know if you're watching or if you're watching this on recording, you know you have my prayers with Mom, and then we'll catch up. You know as of right now, I'm gonna have her on next Tuesday. That's the plan. Next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. the Hangout Spot Live. I will have the legend, Hall of Famer, Christy Martin, the legend inside and outside of the ring. She's doing a lot of big things right now. She's promoting. She's got a biopic coming out that's in production right now, a story about her life. And it's an inspiring story. It's not just about boxing. She's a former world champion. You know, she is a former star in the sport of boxing. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, a female fighter in the 90s on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which is unheard of. You know, she's one of the original pioneers. She was fighting when women's boxing was more of a gimmick. And get this, she was fighting under the undercard, Don King undercards, great undercards, Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson was the main event, when Felix Trinidad was the main event, Miguel Cotto, Julio Cesar Chavez. She fought on a Julio Cesar Chavez pay-per-view card in the undercard, and she was blasting females out. So there's no question as to why she became a Hall of Famer. She's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. She was inducted in 2020 with Bernard Hopkins was in that class. But she went through a lot in her personal life as well. You know, she escaped death, a near-death experience. And right now she's a big advocate against domestic violence. And she has a charity. She has a promotion company. So we're going to talk about all that, man. I mean, it's going to be a great interview. Christy is absolutely awesome. And hopefully all is well with Mom, and we'll get her on Tuesday. So that's gonna be Tuesday's show. But anyhow, man, this was a good one, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat for rocking out today. You guys were awesome, man. Shout out to you, Wax, Belanga, Chaos, McCumbee. I think so. Yes, sir. I know you always rocking with me, man, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Four Corners. They were rocking with me as well. MB Productions. My man Wax, Eddie Alvarez, Pristine Sports Network from the Boxing Voice. I mean, you guys always come through for me. We're going to continue to run this train. Again, if you have not subscribed, and I know you guys are subscribed, but you got homework. Make sure you tell a friend and make sure they subscribe. You know, that way, like I said, in 2025, we can grow this train into a locomotive. and get that street cred up and get these interviews popping. 2025 is going to be a big year for us. But as always, man, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. We'll chop it up again next week, man. And make sure if you're not following me, make sure you follow me on IG, because that's where I drop my stories. That's where I drop my future guests. That's where I drop shorts. So make sure you're following me on IG at the Hangout Spot, because again, that's where I put all my information on the channel. But as always, like I said, thanks for rocking out. This is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot Live, and I'll talk to everybody soon.